Hello, eccentric entrepreneurs. This is Taylor Elwood, your business wizard at ImagineYourReality.com. When I created my business plan, I had a lot of clarity come into focus for me. As I mentioned, a while back, the first 3 years of my business, everything was very scattered. I kind of went in every direction. The reason why was because it was all in here. And of course, no matter how organized your mind is, the reality is that you have lots of different things going on, and if you're keeping everything up here, it's very hard for you to execute it. The very act of writing a business plan provided clarity for me because it objectified everything in here. It put it into a manifested form on paper that I could look at and explore. And it created accountability. Without that accountability, I wouldn't necessarily have followed through as well as I could have. In fact, I know that because for the first 3 years I really didn't follow through very effectively with what I was trying to do. That's why having a business plan is so important, because when you are creating your business, or if you're not creating it but you've been running it for a while, if you don't have that kind of clarity, you tend to get stuck in a rut. And I'm not saying that a business plan is going to solve all your problems, because it won't. But what it does do is it lays everything out and it says, okay, here's where we are, here's where we want to be, here's what we need to do to get there. And you now have that objective record to help you with it. This is important because without that objective record, it's hard to know where you've been, and it's hard to know where you're going to go. Those two things are those two phrases, if you will, are really important. We need to know where we've been. We need to know our history, because that's going to show us what our mistakes are, what our triumphs are, where we've succeeded, where we failed. It's going to allow us to track trends. It's going to give us an idea as to who our target clients really are, and as opposed to who they are not. It's going to tell us a lot. And a business plan encapsulates that history. It writes it down. You have an opportunity to write it down. And when you go and you revise your business plan, you have opportunities to look back at the previous versions and say, here's where I was, and what I did, and what worked and what didn't work. But the very nature of writing a plan down is that you're not planning for the past, you're planning for the future. So while a plan can depict what has happened in the past and show you where you've been, it also points the way toward the future. Where are you going? How much money are you going to make? What actions will you take in order to manifest this particular direction? All of these are questions that are implicitly designed in a business plan and implicitly answered in a business plan. And sometimes explicitly as well, hopefully explicitly, because you really want to be as clear as possible with yourself. It doesn't matter if anyone else ever sees you plan it. What matters is that you need to be clear and coherent about what you're doing and why you're doing it, where you're going, and what it is you hope to do as a result of writing this plan down. So once you have that plan written, it becomes this living document. And the thing that I want you to understand is that a plan doesn't have to be written in stone. In fact, it never is. A good plan is a plan that provides some direction, gives you an idea of where you've been and where you're going. But a great plan is a plan that you also know that you can revise and change. For example, when I look at my business plans, I know where I've been, I know where I'm going. I also know that I can change that direction as needed, which is one of the reasons I revise my plans every 3 months, because if I allow myself to be set in stone, I may outpace my plan, and I may also not account for variables that have come into play as a result of actions I've taken, or as a result of other situations that have come up. So I think that you know, your plan is a living document. It's a changing document, and it's really important that you allow it to be that. You know, your goal isn't to just write the business plan and then put it in the desk and promptly forget about it. Your plan is your goal is to write the plan, look at the plan, and update the plan while executing the plan. I know I'm saying the plan a lot in that sentence, but the point is that I think a lot of times what stops a business owner from writing a plan or really effectively executing a plan is that they don't realize just how integral the plan actually is to running your business. They'll write it and then they'll forget about it, or they'll write it and then they'll be like, well, am I going to really have to do all this work? Because let's be honest here, once you've written that plan, it forces you to recognize the work that you're going to have to do in order to manifest it, and that work can be intimidating. Yet I want to tell you that you're not alone in feeling that way. Other people do. And the most important thing that you can do is recognize that in fact you can fulfill that plan. You can achieve it. You just have to be willing to go out there and do it. But this is why you consult the plan on a regular basis and why you revise it. Because if you can see the plan in front of you and you see what you're working on and what you're going toward, if you're checking in and revising it every so often, it's showing you what you've achieved as well. So instead of being this intimidating document that says this is everything you have to do, it also becomes a document that says this is everything you've achieved. This is what you've done in order to move ahead. So I want you to approach your plan in that way and see if that doesn't help you. And if you need help with your plans, I would urge you to check out the link to my class Thrive below. I'm all about helping you to thrive, and one of the ways that you will thrive is by writing and executing a plan. So my class Thrive will teach you how to write and execute a business plan. It'll also teach you how to revise the business plan, and really how to make the business plan the central part of your business that helps you to run your business successfully. So check out that link below. And if you have a comment about business plans, feel free to leave that below as well. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click on the dragon icon over this away. Alright, thanks folks. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and take care.